For our second day in Kyoto, we started by taking the JR San-in line northwest to Saga Arashiyama Station. From there, we had easy walking access to the Sagano and Arashiyama districts. Our first stop of the day was the Arashiyama Bamboo Grove. We had been warned that this location gets very busy, so we arrived a bit before 9 a.m. You walk down a path surrounded on both sides by soaring stalks of bamboo. It almost feels like you're entering another world. It's open 24/7 and free of charge. This expansive 16 square kilometer forest is one of the most famous in Japan. The paved pathways are edged with grass and bamboo fencing constructed with bamboo harvested from the grove. We saw them doing some maintenance work, cutting bits of bamboo to replace part of the fencing. Keep your eyes open for several shrines and other attractions you can visit along the trail, such as Tenryu-Ji and Okochi Sanso Villa. Our advice? Show up early and take your time strolling through the grove to take in all the sights and sounds of this wonderful place. Once it gets crowded, the experience really isn't the same. From the bamboo forest, you can easily access Tenryu-Ji Temple. This Zen Buddhist temple and UNESCO heritage site is located on the south side of the forest. Admission is 500 yen, or around 3.5 euros, to enter the grounds. Admission to the buildings is an extra cost. We were there before the crowd, so walking through the gardens was quite peaceful. Since we were there fairly early in the spring, there were a lot of trees and flowers not yet in bloom. However, this cherry blossom tree in front of the shrine building really put on a show. Make sure to visit the Sogen Pond Gardens and see the reflections of the surrounding mountains. Additionally, there is a small trail you can take to an elevated area that gives you views over the temple buildings and entire gardens. If you are short on time or you find that it's exceptionally busy, don't feel bad about skipping this one. There are other temples and gardens that we think are more worth the time spent. The next stop on our itinerary was the Monkey Park. To get there, we walked down the main street in Arashiyama, which at the time was very empty. Along the way, we stopped to enjoy these delicious Yuba donuts.
Steam on it, that's nice.
Like fried dough?
Yeah, kind of just like a fried dough. It's lightly fried on the outside. Like a mild sweetness to it. Very good, just try one.
Since we didn't see any wild monkeys at Fushimi Inari, we were super excited to visit Monkey Park Iwatayama. Admission is 600 yen for adults, or around 4 euros. After you enter the park, you still have quite a ways to go to see the monkeys. They actually live close to the top of this small mountain. To get to them, you must take a strenuous 20+ minute walk up a mostly paved trail lined with stairs and winding paths. This will certainly be an issue if you have someone in your party with accessibility issues, so please keep that in mind. Once you reach the park area, high up on the mountain, you are rewarded with amazing views and over 100 wild Japanese macaque monkeys. These monkeys roam free throughout the area, and you will find them lounging, playing, or just hanging out pretty much everywhere. Take a moment to watch the monkeys playing in the spring before turning around for some breathtaking views of Kyoto. You might have to ask the monkeys nicely before using the binoculars, though. There is a building with a small observatory you can enter. The walls are lined with windows open to the outside and covered with wire screens. From here, you can purchase small bags of monkey-safe treats like cut-up apples. You can feed the monkeys through the windows by placing the food on the windowsill. They will reach in and snatch up the tasty treats. They ask that you do not pass the food directly to the monkeys. Honestly, you could spend hours here watching them monkeying around and it wouldn't get old. But we were starting to get hungry and had a lot more on our agenda for the day, so we headed back down the mountain. On the way to and from the monkey park, you will cross over Togetsukyo Bridge. Be sure to take a moment and enjoy the beautiful view. Once again, we took the recommendation of the travel caffeine itinerary and that of the large queue outside the restaurant to pick our lunch spot, Arashiyama Yoshimura. Be prepared to take off your shoes as the restaurant has matted flooring.
Good people.
We both opted for the hot soba meal with tempura shrimp and vegetables. The restaurant is known for its hand-cut buckwheat soba noodles, and it did not disappoint. Absolutely delicious and highly recommend. Our next stop required us to make our way back to the other side of the bamboo forest from earlier in the day. On the way, we enjoyed the now much livelier Arashiyama Tourist District. Near Arashiyama Station, there was an art installation called Kimono Forest. Many different clear posts were lined with various kimono fabrics. As you can imagine, it was quite a popular place for pictures, especially for those who had already rented kimonos for the day. At the far west end of the bamboo forest, you will find Okochi Sanso Villa, gardens and tea house. It is another of Kyoto's top sites to visit. Entrance to the location costs 1,000 yen, around €7, and includes a cup of matcha tea. This estate belonged to the famed Japanese film actor Okochi Denjiro. The villa itself is lovely, but again, the real attraction is the grounds. There is a well-marked path that snakes throughout the property. The trail does require you to navigate some stairs and stepping stones, in addition to gravel and more paved pathways, so be aware of that. Along your journey through the grounds, you'll find beautiful gardens, a small Shinto shrine, and those incredible views of Kyoto. On your way out, be sure to remember to stop at the tea house with your ticket to get your cup of matcha. When you look up pictures of temples in Japan, our next stop is surely to come up. Kinkaku-ji, the Golden Pavilion, is located in northern Kyoto. It's easily accessible by bus, and admission is 500 yen, around €3.50. Kinkaku-ji is a 3-story Zen temple with the exterior of the top 2 floors covered in gold leaf. It's really shiny. Because of the way it's situated on the pond, it gives the impression that it's floating. When we arrived, it was quite busy with tour groups. Because of this, you had to navigate the crowds to see and take photos of the temple. Afterwards, you continue walking through the gardens and other temple buildings. We actually didn't stay too long at this location. The main pavilion is really the highlight of this stop. Before dinner and just before the temple grounds closed, we visited Ginkaku-ji Temple. Of all the temple gardens we visited in Japan, this is one of our favorites. This Zen Buddhist temple, located at the base of Kyoto's eastern mountains, is also known as the Silver Pavilion, though it is not actually silver in color at all. Admission is 500 yen, or about 3.5 euros, to enter the grounds. One of the first parts of the garden you encounter is the Sea of Silver Sand, with its massive sand cone named Moon Viewing Platform. The main temple hall stands beside the sand garden. The circular path of the garden then winds you around the various ponds. And because we visited the gardens at golden hour, we were treated to some absolutely lovely reflections in those ponds. Much of the grounds are covered in a velvety soft green moss that makes you want to curl up and have a nap. The peaceful beauty and sounds of this garden truly gave us a Zen feeling. A part of the garden path takes you to a slightly higher point that gives you even more amazing views of Kyoto, particularly with the sun setting behind it. We highly recommend visiting this temple, particularly at the end of the day. Just be sure to check the hours before you visit. For dinner, we visited a pizza restaurant. Yes, you heard that right, a pizza restaurant. Thanks to YouTube, we learned about a place called Pizzaria Da Ciro while researching our trip. The Japanese chef trained in Naples, Italy, before opening his own authentic Italian pizzeria in Kyoto. We really enjoyed the intimate space, and the food was absolutely incredible. That's it for our second day in Kyoto. We hope you enjoyed following along with us on our adventures so far. Next time, we walk the path of philosophers and we see even more amazing sights on our last day in this fantastic city. See you there!
Thanks for watching.
Remember to like and subscribe as it really helps us build the channel. Until next time!
Bye!